Hello, um, I'm Meadow. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm more of a focused video. My last video wasn't very focused because I was pretty drunk in it, I think. But I guess I have a few topics I want to go at, but I want to start with like one that's probably the most important to me that I want to talk about, and that's breaking free from unhealthy cycles. Um, So the example I'm going to use for this recently is I quit smoking weed, and it's been kind of difficult. Not horribly. I mean, I didn't smoke like super often, but I would smoke whenever it was around. Like a lot of people I know, a lot of my friends smoke, and for the longest time, let me get this deep voice out of my throat. For the longest time, right? I um I have a lot of friends that smoke, and so I would smoke with them, and like they seemed to be having a great time, but I was not having a good time, and I was confused. I thought it was something wrong with me, or like wrong with them, or wrong with. I thought there was something wrong, but really, there's nothing wrong. Um, except for the fact that like weed is not healthy for me, right? And I would smoke, and I would just immediately go into this like withdrawn sort of like anxious state, right? Like I would get very paranoid like socially. I would think like I would go silent, nonverbal. I would like kind of feel like I couldn't really be myself, and I don't know, like I would be very hypercritical of myself and others, but like more myself. Like I was very there was this really mean voice that would get in my head and kind of like stomp me down and like fuck me up, right? And yeah, and then I would get very paranoid, especially alone, like on my I remember walking home from my friend's house a few times, just scared out my fucking mind cuz it was dark, and like I was just scared people were following me or in the alleyways, and then like all of those like in the moment experiences were bad, but I think the worst effect it had on me was my mental health, especially the next day. The next day I would be very disoriented, and I mean, it put me in almost like manic or psychotic state usually, right? Because I didn't feel in myself, and I often felt like there was some sort of spirit or something watching me. And it's also the sort of thing where it's like it would bring about a lot of like previous trauma that I had, especially from times when I was smoking weed. And that actually kind of ties into like this idea of like breaking away from um, unhealthy cycles and activities, right? Now, I'm not a saint, okay? I'm not a prophet of this sort of thing, really. I mean, I do lots of unhealthy things. I have Xenin. I drink Diet Coke. I drink alcohol, as you have seen. Um, I do sort of uh sometimes get obsessive about sex, and sometimes I um kind of let myself fall deeper into unhealthy states in sort of a self-destructive manner. But like I don't really like doing but there are certain things, and there are certain cycles and patterns that like over time, it's just something you kind of learn over time, that like it's bad. It's like really bad for you. Like so I mean, this weed things kind of ties back into another point of contention, which is like a really unhealthy relationship that I was in. Like it was very emotionally abusive, and like I was sexually coerced, and it's really hard for me to talk about, actually. So I don't like doing it. But it took me so long in that cycle to realize what was going on. It wasn't anything wrong with me. It was the effects it was having on me were just bad. They were just bad. And like even through like the good things I could point to rationally or whatever in the relationship, which in retrospect there weren't that many, but at the time it seemed like there were a lot. But I felt like shit. Yeah, I felt like shit. And like that's the thing, when you're in these cycles, it always feels like there's some sort of rational reason why you shouldn't be feeling like shit, but ultimately you do feel like shit. And you feel emotionally really bad because you start to think about like what's wrong with me, you know? Um it can't be it can't be the thing that's like present around me all the time. It's got to be me because everyone else is having a good time. But the thing is, you're not like everyone else. I'm not like everyone else, you know, and no one is really. But I mean, you know, I find myself to be pretty unique, and I think everyone finds that within themselves eventually. Um, but yeah, it's about how it makes you feel, right? And so I would say like this is just advice to anyone who is like consistently maybe in a relationship or doing some sort of activity like drugs is an easy one, or maybe like using some sort of coping mechanism. Maybe I've been through this a lot. I've been through it all, like not all, but in 20 years, you know, I've I've felt a lot, I've seen a lot, right? And what I've started to understand is that you just have to start to distance yourself from things that make you feel bad and make you feel uncomfortable to a certain extent. Like there's a certain level of comfortable uncomfortability that you can reside in. But I think once it starts getting super existential, um, and you start questioning if you are a good person or if there's something wrong with you, then that's kind of a downfall. Um, but back to like about weed. Yeah, so I haven't smoked in like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. I don't know. I'm not really counting, but and like I've wanted to a few times, like especially when I'm around it, I it's kind of hard not to, and I'm not sure why. I think I'm just used to the ritual of it. Um, but I've also started to accept that it's just really bad for me. It really fucks me up, and I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but um, since quitting, I feel a lot clearer in the mind and less mentally attacked, perhaps, by this substance because it's a very. I just realized I needed change, so I changed it because I needed to, you know, and that's you have to accept change. I've learned in my life, you know, you have to not only accept it but like willingly encourage it. I think, and because that's the only way you'll learn or get new experiences. But yeah, I've accepted it, and there's been times where I've been tempted, but ultimately, like I remember that experience of when I last did weed, and every time before that, and how uncomfortable I was around people that I know really well and that I'm usually very comfortable around. I felt very uncomfortable. And so it's not them, it's not me. It's the weed. It's the psychoactive substance that I'm using. It's the relationship that I have with it. Um so I just want to make this video to kind of like encourage people to like break free from those sort of things, you know? If you're having a bad time, like it's completely valid, and like in fact, like I would encourage you to break away from that and experiment with that. I mean, another example is my transness, right? right? I was having a horrible time as a cis guy, and that's because I'm not a cis guy. And it took me forever to realize that like I was going through this really bad like dysphoria and this really uncomfortable feeling, and I eventually just started to like realize like it's not anything wrong with me, like on a spiritual soul level. It's the connection that I have with this other, with this form, with this entity, with this identity, right? Um, I went through this growing up too. I grew up very rural area y, and I eventually realized that it wasn't my fault that I didn't fit in because the environment itself was hostile to me. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is if the environment itself is hostile to you and actively hurting you, you need to get the fuck out of there. You need to get out of there. Even if it's something, even if you enjoy it, which is almost like one of the worst ones. But if the environment is actively hostile to you, you need to get out of it. You need to break out of it, or else you're just gonna, you're gonna go mad until you do it, is what I'm saying. Um, I was, yeah, I don't know. Um, I wanted to, real quick at the end here, that's about all I have to say on that. I just want to talk about my week and stuff, my weekend. I went to the Tea Girl picnic in Chicago. I don't know if y'all know about that. All my subscribers, which is me. I went there. I had a very, very fun time. Um, I met a lot of cool people. Lot of new potential friends, which I'm excited about. That was a great time. It was very comfortable just to be around like other trans people, other trans women. Just in like, I don't know, I didn't feel very like judged, like I or like uh outwardly critiqued or dysphoric like I do with oftentimes just interacting with like cis people and stuff. So that was like a really great experience. Is like I felt very comfortable there. And like it was goaded because like this I I don't mean this in, I mean this in the best way possible. Everyone else was also like awkward and autistic, so it was like I was like, "Oh my god, like I can be awkward and autistic here and be okay." Like and that's, which is like, I, you know what I mean? Like maybe not everyone, but like there was enough like even just openness to that sort of like way of like socializing and sort of I didn't feel any pressure within like talking to people. And that was a beautiful thing. I really enjoyed that. Um I want to, here's my final topic. I've been making some music. I made this insane beat like right after I left the Tea Girl picnic at my friend's house, and I was like, "This beat's crazy. I'm really excited about it." I'm making this mixtape called Mold World. Um, yeah, uh, look out for Sada Meadow. She's gonna be big on the scene. She is in me. Um, and yeah, so I I'm really excited about that. I want to make stuff that really is unique to me, and I think I'm in on the right track with everything. And for the first time in a long time in my entire life, really, like I feel on track this year. 2026 has been kind to me so far. There's been some ups and downs, and obviously like some bad moments. But I think in general, the experiences that I've had this year and just kind of defining myself that I have this year is very, very beneficial to me. And yeah, I don't know. I feel I feel good, you know? I don't know. I feel good. That's all I have to say for today. Um, yeah. I hope you have everyone on my computer screen watching this. Hope you're having a beautiful week. Comment down below your opinions on like any of these sorts of things that I talked about. If you've been making any cool art or finding community or like breaking free from like unhealthy rituals and patterns. And I'd love to hear all your experiences. If anyone is watching this, I'd love to hear your experience if you made it this far. Because I just kind of talk on this shit. But if you find me interesting enough that you're this far in the video, thank you. And also comment down below. Anything. I just want to talk to people. I just want to connect with people. And yeah. Yeah. See ya. I I don't know. Bye.